Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you a breakdown of the audio and the mix of a documentary style long form, well, let's say 20 to 30 minute documentary style video, taking Fern as an example. And I've been put to the attention of this by a commenter called @on_documentary, and I'm just going to deconstruct how the sound is for this mix, and also what type of sound effects could work, and how you could at home also add and create sound effects for these different sections. So what you'll see here is the video from Fern, and you'll also be able to hear the mix and the voice under it.
This is the CEO of the parent company of Trader Joe's and Aldi.
So what we firstly start off with is understanding that this type of content mostly has a lot of voiceover on top of it. So what you see here, when I'm zooming into the audio file already gives a lot of information in terms of what type of sound is in there. The sound that you see here is just background noise that has been added for the two cars that are visible from the top shot. Now the voiceover pretty much continues to narrate over the entire video. When you've got more heavy music or only music, then you won't see a voiceover on top of that. So I really like how they have a music intro here that you can that's kind of like the intro of a show or of an episode, which is really well made. It pumps up the production value of the video a lot.
This is Teo, and this is his brother Carl.
Now, just to keep in mind, the amount of music that is used in a 30-minute video content like this is a lot, because every song or every segment with music, and I'm just going randomly through some segments here.
Small and simple.
We've got a different song there.
With this guy, he's a bit older.
We've got some classical music there.
And right now, he's got a problem. He and his partner.
And we have car background music here.
But also a few relatives and even 2 serious felons. One of them is this guy here, Diamond Paul.
A calm, backgroundy, guitar-y, piano music song here.
And a safecracker by night. He breaks into banks and department stores and snaps.
Now keep in mind that all these songs are all put underneath this video in order to make the video flow from one story to the next, and it's important to make the right music decisions within this video in order to make sure that you have a song that you're happy with, you have a song that you want to use in your mix, because it will be important to know, in relation to the song and the sound effects, what sound effects you are going to add on top of the song. So if it's going to be a very heavy full-on orchestral piece that is going to be used as your song, then you probably won't have any sound design or any sound effects underneath that. But if you have minimal guitar and piano playing, plucking, playing music on in the background, then you could borrow your scene to use any more sound effects. So it's a balance. And of course, also, we want to make sure that the most important thing that we hear clear in this type of content is the voiceover, because the voiceover is narrating the entire story for you in order for you to follow the film from A to B and finish the entire film. So let's see what more type of music we've got in this mix.
And a safecracker by night. He breaks into banks and department stores and snatches their cash deposits. He dream. A house on the Spanish Mediterranean marks a month. That is not. They don't know where to stash their millionaire. No press. Now they just need to figure out what to do with him. First, they need to bring him somewhere safe, quietly, so that no one will recognize him. But how do you move a hostage without anyone noticing?
Now, so what you will have here is you've got a transition from some music that shows some suspense, like some horns that go bomb, and you then go into some sort of drum groove beat that
Every time. Roll him up in a carpet. That could work.
that is actually complementing the video in the moment that there's a little explanation of what the guys were thinking. So it's the easiest parts for adding sound effects to this type of content is just looking at what's happening on screen. Now we have a very clear rolling of a carpet, and this is something that we'll think, okay, let's not have lots of music playing in the background. Let's have a low amount of music, just like a little drum beat, having it there, and that gives space for the rug sound effect to be added on there. So it's really about finding a balance between what you see, what you want to hear, and what you're hearing at the same time.
That could work. Allenberg heads out to get one, 2 by 3 meters. Kron stays in the car where they can safely transfer Albrecht into a Volkswagen van and wrap him up like a burrito. It all starts with this: butter.
Now, so one thing that is important about this content is to always keep in mind the type of camera movements that you have from one shot to another. So what we see here is zooming in on the cars, zooming out into butter, zooming out again, going past a little market, zooming out. Oh, I went a little bit too fast there. Zooming out, seeing a little crowd. So everything that you see warrants sound effects, but it doesn't always need to have sound effect. So usually so number one, the most important thing is the voice, then having the right music underneath there to make sure that the voice is guided, and then what always helps is thinking, okay, we've got a slow pan, or we've got a slow zooming in of the video, that maybe we could use a whoosh for that. And this is the thing about whooshes. Whooshes are extremely important sounds that you can add to your films. They pretty much are able to be put at any transition from one scene to the next. So even what we're seeing here, the black sidebars going for the full screen, that can also use whooshes. If you start looking at this content only from the perspective of where can I add whooshes, then all of a sudden your mind just opens and you think, oh, I can add a whoosh there, I can add a whoosh there, I can add a whoosh there, I can add a whoosh there. It's very, very flexible, and it's all a matter of looking at the camera movement, looking at the transitions from shot between shot, and whooshes are very comfortable on top of music as well, because the music you will just have in the background just slowly guiding your voiceover to the end of the film. And you can always add whooshes as transitional material. So I think that is a good tip to remember on how on basic sound effects and sound design that would elevate the storytelling of content like Fern's content. So let's see what more we've got in hidden in this mix.
One management platform. Instead of isolated softwares, tons of individual applications, and lost files, Odoo lets you manage all aspects of business in a central hub. And if you're still hesitating, Odoo Launchpad. You can
Okay, so the commercial within that's within the film, that's pretty smart. And this is pretty straightforward. I don't think you would want any sound effects for this. Let's see how we've got the sound underneath this section.
Olenberg and Kron are looking for a place to hide their kidnapped millionaire in broad daylight in downtown Dusseldorf.
Now, for a shot like this, you know that the story is in Dusseldorf. So keep in mind that if you're looking for sound effects for sections like these, the first thing you would think of is, okay, well, we've got a traffic scene. I'm going to go to my sound library in Soundly and type traffic, and then listen to sounds that you could use to add and layer on top of your video. And because it's playing in Dusseldorf, you can also go into a library and just look for Dusseldorf, and you'll see that there are people recording sound effects in Dusseldorf, and you could potentially be using those sounds in your video as well. So it's very content dependent. It's dependent on what you see, but it's good to, when you're working on a video, to switch and think of it in terms of access to a sound library that you would know. Okay, I've got this whole library of sounds to my disposable to me. Which ones? What should I type in there for the video that I'm working on? And in this case, it's pretty straightforward that maybe you would add a whoosh here for the camera panning outwards. You could also have a crowd of people, because you've got people in the background that are murmuring or chatting, and obviously you will have the sound of the bus here. So let's fast forward a little bit and see what type of decisions have been made, because at the end of the day, everything you hear, everything in terms of music, voice, and sound effects, and also of course visuals, it's a decision that someone made artistically in order to create what you're seeing and hearing.
He promises to cooperate and not cause trouble. Olenberg and Kron agree. They take off the blindfold, tape his eyes with skin patches, and give him a pair of shades. Then they walk him across the sidewalk to the building. But there's another.
So here is just a more suspenseful tone, and keep in mind, in libraries you can also just look for the word tone, and you've got lots of different ambience tones. Now, also in terms of drones, you have flying drones, the flying bzz things, but there's also an audible drone. So these are very long ambiences that can be added for a layer of suspense, or for another type of layer underneath your videos. So drone is a good keyword to keep in the back of your mind, because that's probably also how the decision of this background music was added.
They take off the blindfold, tape his eyes with skin patches.
This deep, low, bassy bomb, very useful in these types of scenes. And again, for the sunglasses going on the face, also whoosh. A whoosh is a very, very flexible and versatile sound effect that you could add for transitional moments. Now let's move ahead and see what else we have here.
Office, rushing through client meetings and sending his staff home early. They don't mind. Hannah is worried, as usual, not because she thinks her boyfriend is a kidnapper, but because she knows he's a womanizer, constantly chasing younger women. But tonight he comes home from work on time.
So here is also an interesting one. You see the 3D doll here, and you hear a door opening. So when you pan to the door is already opened. So that is a way how sound effects can introduce something in a scene that you haven't seen before. This happens a lot with sound design and sound effects, that you can use sound to accentuate what's going to happen into a scene. This is a very good example of that.
But tonight he comes home from work on time. There's nothing special on the evening news. No mentions of a missing tycoon.
Das ist Rentner Hugo Bansimmer. Wir fragten ihn in seiner Wohnung, warum kauft er im Vorteil?
Carl Albrecht steps onto a small stage.
Now, one thing that is a very subtle effect that you will come across as well are effects for titles. So as you can see, there's the 1953 title in the video popping up, and it has this little tick 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 sound effect attached to it. These are also ways that you can accentuate the video content, and you can literally type tick in a library and it will give you all types of clock tickings, but also just user interface ticks that you can just try out and build a ticking sound for your text. So we can actually hear that it is all audible in this mix.
Carl Albrecht steps onto a small stage.
And it doesn't disturb the orchestral type of flute suspense music that you have in the background there. So it's actually a very useful way to put some attention on the fact, hey, we're moving from 2025, we're moving all the way down to 1953. So let's continue listening to the video.
He's about to give a rare public speech. He taught in just a few years.
Our operations, I see that in the early days, we were forced to keep a small, only fast-moving consuming consultation or not buy. We slow down sales because of turnover type each, so only Blendox and only Sigella for.
Now, keep in mind that a lot of the content that we're seeing now in the video is black and white. So this actually means that these shots are very well. We can say that they're old, but sound-wise, they don't have any. They don't have any. I can't say much to add sound-wise because they're old footage, and you already have a voiceover on top of it that is just trying to move along. And if you're really a fanatic in sound, you can go every shot for shot. You can go and add sounds to this, which actually that is something that I wouldn't do. I have done it before. On bigger projects that gave me the time to add detailed sound effects, and then you would also add a taped hiss sound effect, which actually is the best tip that I can give, is just using some tape hiss to underneath the black and white footage in order to give that a layer of sound that you can use. Now, if we forward more, we've got the story that's being told, and of course there's going to be a story arc of the whole video, and phone calls, they will probably be layered. Let's have a listen.
Money is the only viable exchange for the hostage.
So it's also a duty of the sound designer to make the voice sound as if it comes from the phone. You can do that by using plugins. So these are tiny softwares inside the software. So Nuendo has plugins. So this is a software within software which can emulate phone recording sounds. But what you can also do is take an equalizer and you can equalize the highs and the lows out of a voice in order to give it more of a phone sound. So keep in mind that also going back, looking at the video at the moment, going back at seeing the text appear that you're also hearing, because you have titles being recreated for this, you could potentially think of adding sound effects. It would disturb what you hear the person saying, so maybe it's too much sound effects, but that is always something useful to communicate with the director about how many sound effects or how much sound should we add on tiny details such as text appearing and reappearing.
You will have our word. You will receive the money and be given enough time by the police to disappear.
Police and the press. What now? And promise the kidnappers not to set them up about during spiritual count's life. It's just too good of a story.
Aufgemachten Presseveröffentlichung etwas gestört.
Bishop has been compromised. The kidnappers' call is to include a message in a pocket lately. At least they can unwind in front of the TV.
Sie verlangen ein Lösegeld von 7 Leuten, den Tätern, die diese senden. Dieser wird alt.
Jane Hofer with 30 shops. On the phone with one of the men who has kidnapped. No police. Calls. He's been obsessing. Tonight's the night.
So what you are noticing now when I'm just going through the video and just taking some random moments of the video moving forward is that every section that you see has music underneath it, and it's very common to just plaster music from beginning to end because you want to use the power of music in order to tell a story of what you are seeing. So once again, sound effects are very dependable on the music decisions that are being made. So if you are going to hire a sound designer to work on your content, and this content is very similar to Fern's content, keep in mind that it's very important to make the right music decision first, and then once you've got the music underneath your video exactly how you want it, then you can think about adding sound effects and sound design on top of your on top of your mix in order to have a good sounding mix for your Docustyle program. So I'm not going to go towards the end of the video just in order to make sure that there aren't any spoilers for anyone who still wants to watch the Fern video, and this was my explanation of how you would break down the mix for a Docustyle 20 to 30 minutes voiceover heavy music heavy documentary, where you still would like to have sound design and sound play around in the environment and in sound effects. So think of the titles, think of the backgrounds, think of the camera movements, think of the whooshes. This is the best advice and best tips that I can share. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment and ask me any questions about anything you like. If you like this, please like and subscribe for more information or more thoughts about this. And I'm looking forward to speaking and hearing from you in the next one. Okay, well, thank you guys. Goodbye.